السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome back. We are going on to Unit 3, Team Working. Think before you meet. We got model forms, we got career skills, and team building. The stuff teams are made of. There's a lot of keynotes. There are teamwork, which is we all know what teamwork or the ability of a group of people to work together, to work well together. قدرة مجموعة من الناس العمل مع بعض كفريق. A common goal is one of the fundamentals of the world of work. Professionalism and efficiency are often measured in terms of how much one contributes to team spirit. Successful teams accomplish their objectives because they are committed, respect the various roles within the team, and meet their deadlines. Teams spend a large part of their working lives in meetings. It is therefore important to make sure that every meeting is positive, informative, and the necessary use of the team's time. The chairperson or facilitator plays a key role in coordinating the team's work and keeping everyone focused at meetings. يعني في كثير من الاجتماعات أو اللقاءات هي waste of time، هي مجرد إضاعة الوقت. يجب استغلالها في right time, the right function, and the right mission. Here we're discussing in a preview of the meetings. Why are meetings held for? Meetings are held to explain new projects, B, establish common goals, make team decisions, allow members to socialize, create policies, share information, announce minor decisions, coordinate team activities, get weekly progress updates, and solve problems. These are most of the reasons why meetings are held. They are held for some of these reasons. Some of these reasons are more than the other ones. Like I said, these are the reasons, like about 10 reasons that we are looking at right now. And your homework, or the first part of your homework for this, will be which one of these 10 reasons that meetings are held for you think is the most common and the most important, and why. Of course, there's many different types of meetings that they have the names that specifies where mostly where the place or the position it's in. يعني الميتينجز لهم اسماء سميت بسبب مثلا المكان اللي بيجتمعوا فيه او اللي بيقفوا الستاند او الوقفه او وضعيه الوقوف. مثل a cafe meeting, if sessions in the meeting room tend to last too long, brainstorming in particular can take place elsewhere. For example, over coffee or a snack, to provide a relaxed and creative atmosphere. The second one is the stand-up meeting. Everyone in the team stands in a circle and gives updates on work, conveys solutions to problems, and asks for help if necessary. Because people are standing up, they are more concise and to the point. The next one is the egg timer meeting, when it's preferable to have people sitting comfortably, as they may need to refer to notes, etc. Use an egg timer to make sure nobody speaks for too long. Participants could conduct the meeting in a precise and time-efficient manner. The egg timer هم المؤقت يعني يسمى كم يعني وقت كم how many minutes each person is going to speak for عشان ما this way nobody will speak for too long. ياخذ الجلسة لحاله يضل يحكي. Everybody has a specific certain amount of time that he's allowed to speak for. زي بدي يحكي له 3 دقائق بحددوا له أو 5 دقائق أو دقيقتين. Depends on the type of the meeting. The next one is the walking meeting. This is when 2 or 3 members of the team take a 10 to 15 minute walk outside the office complex to discuss confidential matters in an informal context. هذه الوك يعني بيعملوا زي almost unofficial meeting. Why they walking around outside the office? Why do we do this? Sometimes it would be confidential and بخاف people are listening. There's devices recording or camera. It's better sometimes they discuss it outside in the open في الهواء الطلق بيحكوا مع بعض براحتهم with confidential. يعني this is better sometimes. It depends on, of course, the position of the people and the circumstances. Of course, the next one is ABCD. It talks about types of meeting and what type of meeting we're going to use for this situation. Situations A, B, C, D. And you want an alternative to the lengthy Monday morning meeting in which team members report back on the previous week's work. بدك حاجة سريعة. This is a Monday morning, like يوم السبت مثلا نقول بعد الجمعة أو بعد الweekend. What kind of type of meeting we're going to use for this? We're going to use one that is short and to the point and fast enough. You could do the stand up, for example. Okay, now we're going to the article in The Economist, which is meeting techniques. Think before you meet. Glossary for today was tedious, which is boring, something ممل. Hog the floor, dominate the discussion. Skepticism, which is doubting, تشاؤم أو doubt, شكوك, doubting the truth of what other people say. Mold, which is a form. Think before you meet. Too many meetings are a waste of time. Like, what do corporate leaders do all day? Much of their time is spent in meetings. No wonder the rules of team working are established in meetings, which in turn are the basic building blocks of corporate existence. However, meetings might not always be the best use of the team's time. Paragraph 2. Meetings, like teams, do not necessarily achieve what they set out to do. One recent study in America by consultants Synetics found that senior and middle managers spent more than 3/4 of their time in meetings. يعني المدراء الكبار أو العاليين في الشركة يقضوا أكثر من 3/4 أوقاتهم في الاجتماعات. Okay, but on average, only 12% of managers thought their meetings were productive. In high-performing companies, that figure rose to 25%, and in the lowest performers, it dropped to 2%. And 2% of their time were productive. إنتاجي أو منتج يعني على الفاضي. يعني let's say over 80% or 88% of the meetings كانت على الفاضي. It was non-productive, was the waste of time. مضيعة للوقت. Despite IT, we all go to more and more of them. Flex Jonathan Day of McKinsey, but there must be a way to make them work. They can't all be a waste of time. Perhaps team leaders should do everything they can to make sure they organize them properly. Indeed, running meetings well is clearly an art, and a growing number of companies, include Synectics, which modestly claims to run the best meetings in the world, are offering help. Lots of meetings, of course, happen in the corridor or around the coffee machine, and those are probably the most efficient sort because they tend to be spontaneous, small, and quick. Bigger ones are usually more problematic, and team members have to put up with meetings where too little thoughts goes into the agenda, the location, the people asked to attend, and the outcome. Says those who try to improve them. That allows unimportant ideas or tedious individuals to hog the floor, which the result that a lot of team members find it hard to look forward to next meetings. يعني some people مملين، أن بعض الأشخاص المملين في الميتينج، في الاجتماعات الكبيرة، هم بيسيطروا على معظم الكلام، ومما يجعل بيضيع الوقت، وما يجعل الناس الثانية لا ترغب في الذهاب إلى اجتماعات أخرى. Paragraph 4. Meetings tend to be held either to share information or to solve problems. For the first sort, Roger Neal of Synectics advocates asking all participants to say at the end what they think they have heard and correcting their accounts. If they are wrong with problem solving, the aim ought not to be just brainstorming and coming up with ideas, but also paying proper attention to putting solutions into practice. He also thinks it is wise to ask people what they liked about the things they heard. Criticism usually comes unasked. Pessimism, skepticism, and challenge all cause trouble. يعني we always ask الناس ماذا أحبوا في الحاجات اللي سمعوها، لكن النقد دائما كان بيجي من غير ما تطلب، والتشاؤم طبعا والشكوك والظنون تيجي دائما من غير وتسبب مشاكل. Paragraph 5. What makes meetings especially important to companies? Though it is that this is where teams are molded. That is why companies must learn how to run them. David Bradford, a professor at Stanford Business School who specializes in studying teams, argues that meetings often waste huge amounts of time. In one business, the executive team spent 3 meetings designing business cards. Of course, one person should have done this before the team started working together. The way to get a good decision is to frame the question carefully. If you want to invest in China, do not announce that you are planning to do this or ask the meeting whether you should. Instead, enlist your colleagues' help by saying, we want to be in the Chinese market. How do we get there? It depends where to start the meeting. How to start the meeting. If we read the text again and said, we answer the questions. Why are corridor coffee machines meetings often efficient? Why do you think that meetings on the side by the coffee machine عند القهوة جنب القهوة أو في الممرات ليش فعالة أكثر من الميتينجز other meetings? What are the 2 main reasons for holding meetings? What kind of feedback do people give easily? Why do companies consider meetings to be very important? And what happens when meetings are not properly organized? Well, let's go to the, of course, vocabulary. Use the following words to form collocations beginning with team. Put them into three groups: people, things to do, and concept, like team project, team morale, team leader, team spirit, team player, team task, team goals, team member, and team building. We could use this in different connection to people and things to do and concepts and sentences. Okay. Find the multi-part verbs in paragraph 3 and 4 of the text on page 25, which mean the following: tolerate, be excited about, and think of. Okay, let's do the practice for this part. You need to use words. This article we complete using the vocabulary section and the following words taken from the next on page 25. When 3 people from our department left to join another company, team morale was very low. We know we had to recruit new members and that a long integration process would slow our work down considerably. We were worried that the positive atmosphere and what we do here that had taken us a while to build would be affected by this setback. Okay. We were worried that the positive atmosphere and spirit that had taken us a while to build would be affected by this setback. We can read through it again. It was decided to have a meeting, and the first item on the list was a noun here, session, to discuss, or let's go through it. To attend meeting first was and present ideas on the best way of organizing activity that would help the new recruits to fit into structures as quickly as possible. All the participants at the meeting put their ideas forward, and finally we agreed that we should all attend a day's training session organized by a specialist consultant. The day will be spent socializing and completing simple tasks set by the consultant. We hope to have the new team operating as efficiently as ever in the next couple of weeks. Okay. Now we're talking about the team rules. We should read the one underneath that, and then we could answer the question on top. And if we read, team rules are specific and interdependent. The team leader, what does the team leader do? The team leader may or may not be part of the managerial staff. It is his or her job to provide an environment that helps teams to get their work done, right? The leader organizes locations and times for meetings and is responsible for providing resources acquired by the team to carry out their tasks. It is the job of the leader to remind the team what result the organization expects of them and how their tasks fit in with the overall goals and mission of the company. He or she works closely with the facilitator in planning the agenda of a meeting, setting outcomes, and ensuring next steps are assigned, as well as communicating on the team's progress with other members of the organization. course, next one is team facilitator, وهو مسهل المهام. Team facilitator helps develop and apply the procedure for teamwork. He or she establishes the ground rules and then makes sure that they are respected. If, for example, it's agreed that at the outset that all members should give their input, it is the role of the facilitator to make sure decision making is not dominated by strong personalities in the team. As the role of the facilitator in decision making is neutral, it is a good idea to rotate from team member to team member. يعني لازم نغير دائما لما الروتيشن أوجد إعادة تدوير للأشخاص المعنيين بالتسهيل أو التنسيق. Team recorder. The team recorder is responsible for writing down key points, ideas and decisions at meetings, like مسجل محضر الاجتماع. Recorders need to prepare for meetings by reviewing the agenda carefully. Recording ideas is particularly important, and the recorded text should be as close to the actual words used as possible. The recorder's notes are very different from the minutes of a meeting, which are a summary of what was said at a meeting. The timekeeper's job is to monitor how long the team is taking to accomplish its task and provide regular updates to the team on how well or poorly they are using their time. He or she also collaborates with the team leader and facilitator and other team members to determine new time schedules if these are necessary. All team members must be, of course, enthusiastic and committed to the teams. They should be willing to share responsibility and to accept different roles such as facilitators or leaders. They must share knowledge and expertise and never keep information to themselves. They should respect the opinion and positions of others in the team. Now, if we want to look up to these functional team leaders, team facilitators, team recorder, and the timekeeper and team member, which one is these should be roles? Review the agenda, remain neutral, provide resources, provide updates, write down key points, and establish ground rules. Of course, for the second part of your assignment, your homework assignment, you should talk about these five. We have 5 different team members or team roles. I would like for you to tell me which one of these you think the most efficient or the most important for a meeting, and which one is the least important that we can do the meeting without. So you have 2 parts to this. Which one is the most important function of those and why, and which one is the least important or the least efficient that we could neglect, or we could do the meetings without. This is the second part of your assignment. Okay. All right, we can if you have to go through every one of those. You have to also go through the language check, like I said, and we can discuss this if you have any question, or we'll go over it in the Zoom meeting. Of course, we're going to need the tenses. Okay, we're going to talk about team buildings, team players. Okay, we're going back to the dilemma and the decision. The brief, leading the team brief. Peter Drummond is the team leader of a group who were briefed to come up with ways of improving customer communications at Walton's department store. After 3 weeks of information gathering and meetings, the team made the following recommendations. Extend telephone coverage by 1 hour per week to answer more inquiries. Update web page at least once a week. Research further the idea of holding store meetings to answer customer questions directly. Peter feels sure that these are good ideas but fears the management will not approve them because they are costly. He cannot decide whether to present the ideas to management or not. Of course, we're talking about the tasks here. I want you to tell me in brief, what should Peter do and why? Should he present it, the idea, or should he just ignore it? You need to decide what do you think Peter should do. This one. We'll discuss this, I guess, in the class. We don't need to do this. We have the 2 assignments. I guess that's good enough. Inshallah, this is